and this is Living Legends, Music.com's classic rock program. I'm here with Pete Waybill of the Tubes.
Thanks for having us.
Great. So you grew up in Phoenix, Arizona?
Good. Well, actually Scottsdale, which is a suburb, but it's all the same sweltering pit. We all grew up together in Arizona, then we all moved to San Francisco and started, trying to make it in the business out of San Francisco. And we all lived in one house, condemned house in the Sunset District, and we lived on Prairie's $150.
How was that?
Well, it was a hippie kind of existence. It was the thing where I was a roadie back then. This was before I was the lead singer. And I would go to the farmer's market every weekend and buy a 25-pound bag of brown rice and a 25-pound bag of carrots, and all week was carrots and rice. Pretty much that was it. I don't eat brown rice anymore.
You guys were called something else for this.
We were originally Beans. It was two small bands from Phoenix, a quartet and a trio, that merged in San Francisco. We were the Laser Beans and the Pinto Beans and the Green Beans and whatever. We changed it every gig. And then another band came out with that name. Another band got a record deal and released an album called Beans, and we all flipped out because, how can you do this? This is our name. But once you copyright something, once you publish it, it's yours. And we had never published anything, so they got the name, and we had to find the new name, and so we picked the Tubes.
Oh, wow. So how did you guys come up with the Tubes?
Just everybody made suggestions, and we all put the names in a hat, and then the dog picked it out. Actually, I put mayonnaise on one of the pieces of paper that had the Tubes on it, and we let the dog pick out the name, and picked out the one with the mayo on it, and it was Tubes.
So you really wanted.
So I thought that was the best name for us, because we're so visual, and it's kind of relating to television and TV tube, fallopian tube, cathode ray tube, whatever. It seemed to fit, seemed to work. So.
What were your influences?
We loved Zappa. Anybody weird, anybody who wasn't going along with the program. I mean, I loved the Beatles when I grew up as a kid, but weird people. We loved Zappa, and we loved Beefheart, and we loved, Hendrix, and we loved. Actually, we were huge Earth, Wind and Fire fans. I mean, we loved a lot of R&B stuff. It was like a whole spectrum of material, and I think theatrically, remember Danny Kaye? Remember Danny Kaye out there? All you guys with red hair, you remember Danny Kaye. Well, Danny Kaye used to be this kind of wacky actor who did all this. It was kind of like Red Skelton. Just crazy, completely crazy, and did all these goofy things, and was always messing up and bumbling, kind of screw-up kind of guy. So a lot of people thought, I stole a few bits from Danny Kaye, actually, and from Danny Kaye movies. And now this new record is Tubes World Tour 2001.
And
it's out in right now. Actually, it says TWT 2001. It doesn't say Tubes World Tour, it just says TWT 2001, and it's got like a very phallic looking, it's got a woman's hand about to clasp a seatbelt, sticking the head into the receptacle of the seatbelt. It's very phallic. So we love that. We like that. Well, yeah, and we called it 2001 because we figured that we'll kind of post-date ourselves like they do new cars. New cars are all out in October, right? So we thought, well, we'll get the rest of this year, and then we got the whole next year. It's a new album for like 18 months. There's 2 new songs and 9 live songs. Old, all the greatest hits of all the old, She's a Beauty, Talk to You Later, White Punks on Dope, all those songs. And then the 2 new songs, one's called Love Line and one's called Digidoll.
Okay, the Love Line, that's about the internet.
Yeah. It was about, well, they have this Love Line. It's not called Love Line. Love Line is the show on MTV, right, with Adam Carolla. But it's called Love at AOL, right? Okay. And it's this thing where you can have everybody, it's like a personals page, people trying to find each other. And so I logged on and was browsing through, looking at some of these women. And I came to one who called herself Baby, and I went to her page and I looked at it, and it just seemed, her preferences were so vague. I mean, it was pretty much, I'll go out with anybody, I'll go anywhere, I'll go any distance. Doesn't really matter, tall, short, black, white, yellow, don't care. Trophy date, I'll be your trophy date. You know, and it was all kind of stuff like that. And I went, geez, this is pretty weird. And they have home pages. Visit me at my home page. So I went to her home page. The pictures on the home page are all naked. Right? I went, well, I like that girl. She's pretty wide open here. She's going to go anywhere and do anything. She's naked, great body. So I emailed her, and she said, yeah, I'd love to go out with you. Great. You sound kind of cool. Great. Well, there's only one small hitch. I said, yeah, well, what's that? She says, well, it's going to be $500. I went, you're a hooker? I just thought I was doing good for you. Hi, this is Fee Waybill of The Tubes, and you're watching Living Legends on music.com. That's not me. They're not talking about me, living legends. They're talking about really old people, other old people, really old. I'm only something years old.